Hey there, my name is Trudy, One Grounded Angel. This is the weekly angel card reading video for the week starting September 14 through to the 20th, 2020. So let's start shuffling the cards and see what is coming up this week. Oop, one jumps out straight away. This card is called Francesca and it says, what do you desire right now? It's all about visualization and making sure you're not blocking your progress through negativity or limiting beliefs. So this can be quite challenging if you are, I've spoken about this before, but if you are following the law of attraction, if you're big on manifestation, you need to remember that just wanting something and thinking about it a lot is not going to be enough to make it happen. Not only do you need to actually take action to get it to move, things to move in your favor, but you also need to make sure you're not accidentally blocking it. Sometimes people are wishing for something that they're actually afraid of having. They might be, wishing for a relationship, but so on some level they're so afraid of rejection and of being hurt, they're sending out mixed messages to the universe. So notice if that's going on for you. It's not always easy to spot. If that is the case, you might like to talk to me or another energy healer about clearing that energy, because you can't have one hand reaching forward and the other reaching back. It's not energetically, that's not going to work. So this might be a call for you to think about, what is it I want? Am I actually setting goals, or am I on autopilot mode, kind of drifting through life, waiting for things to get better and then wondering why they don't? Maybe this is an empowerment message for you to take action and starting by focusing on what you really want, and then starting to move to take action to make that happen. Now, the planet Mars, the planet of motivation, the planet of action, is in retrograde. That does make it a little bit harder, but it's not impossible. It just means progress might be a little slower, and maybe that's what you need to take from this, the fact that things take a lot longer to manifest than what you might have realized. If there is negativity going on for you, negativity is a word that people like to, I think people are a bit black and white about, this is positive, this is negative, but with negativity, what we think sometimes is negativity is actually a deep-seated fear in disguise, and that's what we need to work on. Procrastination is a great example of that. People often say, oh, I'm so lazy. It's not laziness, it's because there's a reason you're trying to block your own progress, and the only way to really work through that is to look at what actually are you afraid of with this goal. Are you afraid that you're not good enough? That's often what's going on there, among other things. Tuesday's card is the reward. Never not welcome this one. Reward yourself. You really need to not only to practice some self-care and to treat yourself well, but you need to actually show the universe that you know your own worth by doing things that are good for you, taking yourself places you've wanted to go, or if it's realistic for you, buying yourself things you've always wanted. We need to be willing to show that we know we deserve rewarding. Sometimes people are trying to deprive themselves, thinking that gives them or will earn them some sort of badge or something. I don't know what they're trying to do. Maybe you grew up in a really austere kind of household where that was the deprivation was seen as a virtue of some sort. Really challenge that, because honestly, we're here to enjoy our lives. Don't be depriving yourself and thinking that that's making you superior in some way, or that makes you safe even. Sometimes that's what's going on there. So Wednesday's card, emotional healing. Where do I start? Where do I start with this? I've never met a single person who doesn't need a message like this at some point in their life. It's really asking you to look at, where are you holding on to old pain? That's the simplest way I can put it. So that could be an event that happened in the past that you are still attached to. Sometimes people think, oh, I'm over it now. I forgave him, it's fine now. Usually when people rush to tell me they've forgiven someone, there's something else going on there, because people who are trying to push for forgiveness so they can move on haven't done the work in sitting with what actually happened here. What was my part in this dynamic? What did I need to learn from this situation? I talked about this a bit last week with the card around release or anger. Very similar message, both about releasing. Really looking at, what is it that I need to know about this situation? Has this situation repeated? Sometimes the reason people will get upset when a boss disrespects them, for example, it's enough of grounds to be upset, but the reason it's particularly galling or really particularly upsetting is because it reminds them of another dynamic where they've not been treated with respect. Could go back to their childhood. So we need to be looking for patterns if we want to be emotionally intelligent and really learn more about where our blocks are and how to heal them. And again, you might like to talk to me about how energy healing can help you with that. Sometimes we just need someone who's more objective to look at the situation and go, have you possibly not seen this part of the puzzle, or have you forgotten about what happened back then? Remember, if it's something to do with relationships, if something like that comes up, people will often say, oh, but I'm not in love with my ex anymore, or I don't even really think about them. But remember, the opposite of love is not hate, it's apathy. So even if you're not really thinking about them, if you're still invested in resentment or bitterness about what happened there, and perhaps it's more about the situation than the person, that's something that needs healing. And unfortunately, that's not something that's simple. Thursday, career transition, always a good message for people who are not particularly happy with their work. We need to remember with our jobs that there is no perfect job out there that will solve all your problems. I think sometimes people think, if I just find the right job, everything will be okay. I suppose we do this in relationships too. Oh, I must be with the wrong person. I'll just change to a younger model. This is the middle-aged white man type thing. I'll just leave my wife and go for a younger model, and that will fix everything. And then soon enough, they realise that it's actually not another person's job to fill that void. So really make sure that your issues around work are not around you trying to idealize a situation. There will always be problems in your work. There will always be challenges. There's no perfect job. And if you have a job that you don't love, but you're okay with not loving it, that's great. We don't have to love our jobs. We don't have to all have jobs where we jump out of bed and are super passionate about it. Even I don't. I love the work I do, but I don't bound out of bed going, yay! I just go, okay, what am I doing today? And there are certainly things I'm really passionate about, but there are other things I'm really not. Doing the accounting would be one of those. So there's always going to be challenges. Make sure you're not searching for something that doesn't exist, some magical formula that just doesn't exist. In saying that, if you've been thinking about leaving your job, this card probably is the right confirmation for you to do that. And it starts by thinking about what you actually want. Make sure you're not swapping what you've got for a different shade of the same thing. Sometimes people need to look at what it is, what their expectations are. Where do I go from here? Friday's cards. Signs. I love the colours of this. I feel like I'm going to be repeating myself for a lot of you now, because I do talk about signs an awful lot. Signs are a really wonderful confirmation from the universe that we are on the right track, that we are safe, that things are going to be okay. The problem is people often start looking for signs where the signs aren't there, and then they start overthinking it, and then they doubt, is that a sign at all? Did I make that up? It becomes this whole overthinking spiral. So the first thing to remember when you see a sign is signs are confirmation. They are not warning you. Sometimes people see a sign and think, oh, I must be doing it wrong because I didn't ask for a sign, therefore this is the universe trying to tell me something. It's not really how it works. If you have asked for a sign and you see a sign, then that's it. It's just confirmation. And you can still have doubts about that and ask for another one. I certainly do. Even with all my experience, I still doubt my intuition. Typical signs are seeing things like feathers and coins in unexpected places, seeing or hearing music or meaningful lyrics that are jumping out at you in unexpected ways. Seeing rainbows, clusters of butterflies can be another one. Some people like to think of that as a message from someone on the other side rather than angels. Some people feel that like repeated digits, particularly the number 1 repeated, can be a sign. I've personally stopped talking about this because I feel like in a digital world, when I'm literally always on my phone or on my computer, I'm always seeing time and numbers, and it's just lost its meaning for me. It doesn't feel like a sign for me because I see it so often. It just feels it's very difficult for me to find anything extraordinary about that. However, if a sign that is number related speaks to you, go with it. In saying that, I once had my groceries come to $111.11. That was definitely a sign. How unlikely is that? And I'd asked for a sign, so there it was. So really use your judgment here. We can't go overthinking things. I know of one spiritual, prominent person in the spiritual space who advocates asking for a particular sign. I personally don't do that because I think you'll go looking for it. If you've asked for, say, a bird, you're going to go looking for birds. I mean, you're going to go looking for birds in every book you read every TV show, then you go, was that really a sign, or did I just see that because I was looking for it? So it's better to leave it open, in my opinion. This is just me. If that doesn't resonate, please filter it out and then let it jump out at you. And if it jumps out, you're going to know. If you're looking for it, it really just feels like a fact-finding mission to confirm something that you want to be true. What else do I need to tell you about signs? If you see a sign and you haven't asked for it, it's usually just the universe saying hello and reminding you to stay positive and stay on track and that things are going to be okay. It's a good thing. Don't overthink it. What else? Yeah, that's probably enough information about signs. Gosh, I'm going through these really fast. They seem to be, well, I was going to say the straightforward messages. They're not. That career transition and emotional healing are certainly not straightforward, but I seem to be, maybe I'm talking too fast. Here's Saturday's message here, simplifying your life. The woman on this card is doing a declutter. She's got the Marie Kondo thing going on. So you might like to take it that literally and think of it as a sign to declutter, have a clear out, clean up things, shift the energy in that way. Or the other way to look at this is to look at the simple pleasures. This might be, because this is a Saturday, this might be an invitation for you to do some things that simply bring you joy. Have a cup of tea by yourself. Stand by the ocean and, walk in nature. All these sorts of simple pleasures, and really be present for them and really enjoy them. And don't put any extra expectations on them. Simplifying your life. What else is simple here? Yeah, maybe you're overcomplicating things. Maybe you're overthinking things and you just come back to that simple message of, let me just focus on what I've got right now, instead of going into a fear spiral and worrying about things that are not even possible or likely for you. It's easier to say that in hindsight, of course. Sunday's message is a very simple one as well. Spend more time outdoors. I love it when this comes up, because honestly, in this digital world, we do spend way too much time indoors on our phones. Even if you're in lockdown right now, you would be allowed to go outside, I'm sure, at least sometimes. So making sure you're making the most of that, spending time outdoors, connecting with nature. Maybe think about bringing some indoor plants into the house. Maybe think about throwing open some windows, those sorts of things. There are lots of ways to connect with nature that don't have to involve you going outside if you're not physically able to. There's something about the energy, the way the energy of nature helps us. People laugh about tree huggers, but I find hugging a tree really super relaxing and calming. So that's the weekend messages are very much about going back to those simple pleasures. I think pleasure comes through with this reward message as well, by the way. So we've got some heavier messages here in the middle around healing past hurts and about thinking about our work and if some changes need to be made there. I should say with this one, if you don't want to change a job that doesn't feel right for you, you're self-employed, you're happy with what you're doing, it could be about making changes within where you are. So you don't have to change things up completely. Maybe you think about making a shift to the way you approach your workday, or some changes around your duties or something like that, or maybe you even channel a bit of this energy here and you declutter your desk, or you bring in some, I don't know, you change the energy around your workspace. So yeah, that's really it for the week. A bit of a mixed bag here, but I do like the way they've brought things back to that simplification idea, which is so appropriate during the Mars retrograde. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember, if you want something more detailed, something more tailored to you, you don't know how these messages necessarily speak to you, the best thing to do is to book a personal reading, which is all done over Zoom, so it does not matter where you live, what your time zone are, etc. And to arrange that, my website is www.onegroundedangel.com. You can head to the How I Work tab, which will give you more information about what I offer, or you can just go to the bookings tab, contact me, and we can have a bit of a conversation about what's coming up for you and what you're looking for. And if I don't think I can help you, I will just tell you. I'm not going to waste your time. The other thing is I offer energy healing. If particularly this message here around the emotional healing has been triggering for you and you think there's something deep here, I really need some help to shift, definitely talk to me about energy healing. It has transformed my life without a doubt. I would not have the relationship I have, the work I have right now, the lifestyle I have if I had not been doing a lot of energy healing myself. And that's why I learned to do it, so that I can help other people do the same. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. My Instagram is @OneGroundedAngel if you want to see each card pop up in your Insta feed each day to get a little bit more insight there. Thanks very much. Bye.